I'm playing a show in New York, February 23rd, opening for my long lost cousin, RJ Payson. His first show ever. I'm stoked to be there for him to prove we are actually not the same person. You can see us both in the same room at the same time. It's gonna be crazy. It's that time of the year, folks. I wasn't looking into the camera. It's that time of the year where it's the end of the year. Talk about what I did. Talk about what I did for the year, you know what I'm saying? Things got real this year. I also just shaved and cut my hair, so I probably look younger than I did in the last video. It was a different year than I've ever had in my life. I've been thinking about things differently. Some things are more important, some things are less important. I still am stupid and insane. But other than that, it's just same old Scro, you know, just up. I'm just up. I do this video every year. I have been. This will be the 5th year, I think, doing this video. The same way I start all the videos. This is so stupid and self-serving. Just talk about myself, but it's for me, you know, to look back on, to see the progression or maybe even regression. Before I make this video, I watch all the other videos, and how I used to be as baby Nick in 2020 was the first video I did. It's interesting how much I talked about things that would be so passive to me now because I do it all the time. So like producing for other artists or going to shows or like this certain milestone. Now that sort of thing happens to me on the reg, on the daily. It's like, why was I talking about all those things? But that's because I had a different life back then, and this is like my career now. A big thing is, I noticed a lot in those videos, I would talk about like every single person I produced for. And I can't really just air out people's business and be like, oh, I'm working with this artist, they're gonna be putting something out soon. But also like, I have worked with dozens, not hundreds, that would be pretty crazy, but so many artists this year, I can't reasonably fit them all in the video or care to do that. It's not like every artist I worked with was super sick. Just kidding, they're all super sick. Start off up top. We gotta start up top with the stupid numbers. Everyone knows we wanna see what's good with the numbers. All right, there's Instagram. Look at those numbers, holy freaking crap. Let's check out Spotify. What's going on in the land of Spotify? Let me scoot over so there's room to see the Spotify. There it is. There's the Scro Spotify. Yep, there's a little TikTok-a-roni. Let's see what's popping on X, formerly known as Twitter. Yep, there's a little Twitterino. There we go. And maybe a little YouTuber, a little YouTube vibe. Boom, there we go. Little YouTube. I guess Spotify followers is a good one to check out. I know no one really looks at those except for the artists themselves most of the time, but I did hit a pretty cool 20K Spotify followers now, just the other day. None of this shit matters, dude. None of these numbers like mean anything. They mean a little bit, but it's like plus or minus 95%. You know what I'm saying? Like what actually matters. This year, which I'll be talking about later, of course, is I went on tour for the first time. 2 tours. Also, I'm wearing rings. I'm a real artist now. I'm iced the fuck up, bro. Sometimes I wear this. Maybe I'll keep it on. I feel like I shaved my beard too close and now I look like a strange humanoid figure that, you know what? I'm gonna wear it. I'm gonna rock it. After going on 2 tours this year, the first time, you see bands that have no numbers online that sell out shows and sell thousands and thousands of dollars of merch every night. And you see artists that are popping like crazy online. And you go to see them and you're the only person in the crowd. It's you and some other weirdo and you're like, what the fuck? You know, I like to think about the numbers meaning something, but all it means is that people on the internet like to watch you when they're on the internet. Of course, I'm gonna say that because I didn't really grow on social media at all. Not on Instagram, not on TikTok. On YouTube, I hit 20K, so that's cool. But everything else stayed the same, like grew like a tiny, tiny bit, but that doesn't matter. I know that I grew so much as an artist this year, not just emotionally and spiritually as I always am, but just as an artist. And it's hard to explain, and again, I know it's so fucking lame for me to talk about it like this, but it's just for me to look back on and to kind of peek into my worldview at the moment when I make these videos. So I'm going to talk about mostly like music stuff, but there's going to be a little personal, personal Nick stuff, not just Scro stuff. You know what I'm saying? This is just a whole year of my life. I'll be able to look back on who I was and what I did and all that. But immediately, there's so much I'm going to be leaving out because I just don't care about it as much, or I don't think about it as much, or it's just so commonplace in my life I don't even think about it. Like I said, a lot of it, artists that I'm working with, like really big artists, well, their songs aren't out yet. I can't really talk about them, but when they're released, maybe for the next video I'll talk about it. Really cool collabs, people that I'm friends with now that I never even thought of them knowing who I am. That's like really cool to me, and I fanboy all the time, just like talking to some of these artists that I really look up with. And I'm not gonna be like, yeah, this is cool, this is a cool person that I'm friends with now. Like, that's strange. And if they end up seeing this video, then they're gonna be like, I don't want to be your friend anymore because you're weird. But if you are watching this, any people who I met this year who are also artists, just know that I'm holding in all the fanboy energy that I can, because it's insane to be hanging out and talking with and being held to the same level of seriousness and respect as some of the people that I hang out with now. And it's cool. Whatever. I'm a loser. To start up top, now I work just 10 hours a week at this music school, and I also help manage it a little bit. So a little bit more of like an advanced role there, but slowly dwindling away teaching. And my main thing is producing. And I have the Patreon too. The Patreon is kind of just doing its thing. As I'll talk about more later, I don't really like do the content creator stuff as much as I used to. So that's inherently not building my Patreon. But what is building is me as a producer and as an artist and a musician. And that's what I care about most. I released 21 songs this year. I played 38 shows over the span of 2 tours, and I had 2 songs hit 1 million streams. I don't know what that means, but it sure looks cool when people look at my page. They think I'm like a real guy, Last thing before we get into the month by month little breakdown is I'm asking myself in this, how do I feel about being an artist and trying to succeed and grow as an artist? It's very abstract and it's very nebulous what that even means. I think when I first started out, it was get a bunch of followers and streams on the internet. Playing shows wasn't really super important to me, but now since I've been on my first tour, now thankfully my second tour, that's not all that I care about, but it is very much in my mind like more important. That's where real people come and be real. Like I said, the people who engage and consume stuff on the internet, it's real, and it's not until you play a show that you're like, oh, this shit is actually where it's at, like this is what I should be focusing on. Very important, but not the main reason. Is that's where the paper is, you know what I'm saying? I haven't made very much money or even any money doing that stuff, but you see other artists and how they make their living and their lifestyle, and it's like, damn, people coming out to shows and supporting you in the flesh is kind of where an artist's career really thrives and lives. Yeah, obviously it's listening to music and commenting on Instagram and showing their friends, but that's how I feel right now. If you want a flourishing, active, long-lasting artist career, yeah, playing shows is like what you got to do. And I didn't grow up always wanting to play shows. It was just like a little thing. It was like I just like making music, and playing shows is like a byproduct of it. And I still feel like that. But that being said, I'm just realizing how important the shows are, what it means to really build a fan base and really build a career as a musician. Last thing, as I mentioned, I'd make videos online and stuff still, but I think one of the videos, the 2022 or 2023, I was posting a video every other day, and I don't do that shit. In fact, I took a whole 10 weeks off of posting on the internet. I was still fucking scrolling on Instagram and TikTok, but I wasn't like making content, I don't think that really changed much in my life, like not posting videos. I wasn't like growing exponentially because I wasn't trying to go viral, but that's not my MO now, is just getting engagement and going viral, because it doesn't like transfer over, you know what I'm saying? So something I do notice is that the busier I was on Instagram and getting engagement and going viral and things like that, different opportunities than I do now. I was looking back at the videos and I was going, man, a lot of those things that used to happen don't really happen anymore. And it made me a little sad, made me think, oh, maybe I should just like try an engagement farm and just shred on guitar and do silly captions and just show off my talent just for the sake of showing off my talent, which it is fun to do that, but that funnels to being a content creator and getting guitar brand deals and doing things like that. And it's not something I want to do, but it's also like what works for me and I know how to do. I'm always like, oh, I could do this thing and like just be a content creator and just do that like full time one day. If like really wanted to, I could do that. But then no one would care about my music as much. You know, there's plenty of content creator musicians who put out music and like no one cares. So I don't want to be that. I want to be like a real guy. And I know if you're watching this, you probably think I'm a real guy. So thank you. Again, I'm a little embarrassed to be saying all this stuff out loud, and it's stupid for me to care about some of these things, but again, it's just for me to look back on and kind of see my mindset, what the grind set was in the moment, you know? So here we go, starting with January. I am recording. Yeah, I am recording. Okay, first song I put out this year was the first Underbelly collab, the Scro Belly EP, Beginnings. Love this song. I love the EP, honestly. Freaking awesome. I hate saying frick. I feel like such a millennial, which I am. Whatever. I met up with Mr. Toby Peterson of Omnific. We made this sick video, and this was before the first time I went to NAMM. I always say it the wrong way. Not Nam, NAMM. Here's the picture I took of NAMM. It's just that. Okay, whatever. In February, we dropped the second track off of the Scro Belly project, Right Back, another banger. Should I describe it for you guys? Yeah, it's the hyper pop, alternative, EDM, whatever. To be honest, we felt very game changer vibes. We were really trying to push something and make a new sound. Me and Underbelly both like a lot of the same music. Even though we don't make the same music, we have a lot of the same inspiration. So we got together and put everything, honestly, what I think is a very cohesive and interesting project. I wish more people were able to hear it somehow. I don't have any videos of this, but I saw Skrillex perform on accident. It was at Alice Gow birthday party show, and it was Dylan Brady plus special guests. And the special guest was Skrillex, and we were like, if I would have bought a normal ticket to see Skrillex, I would have been like $500. It was just like a $20 ticket, and I was just like not even that far away from him. And Dylan, Brady, and Skrillex just played techno the whole time. It was like pretty sick. Not the whole time, but more techno than I would have assumed Dylan, Brady, and Skrillex played together. I played guitar for the Eliminate I Set My Friends on Fire collab. The reason I'm bringing this specific track up that I helped make is because these are two of my favorite artists of all time, to be honest. Eliminate I Set My Friends on Fire. They're making a collab, and somehow I got called in to do the guitar. I'm friends with Nate. I'm friends with Matt. They were like, we need guitar. Obviously, it just worked out. I drove over to Nate's house last minute, and I made the freaking breakdown at the end, all the guitar stuff in the middle. This was awesome. So thankful to be a part of this. You might be wondering, wait, you should just collab with Eliminate. And while you're at it, you should just collab with I Set My Friends on Fire. Yeah, next year it's gonna be pretty cool, guys. Okay, I actually don't know if any of that's gonna happen. I was just like saying. In March, me and Underbelly released the last single of the Scro Belly project called I Lay Here. Just another beautiful song, I can't lie. I love all these songs so much. It was really fun making this. If for some reason this flew over your head that we put out this EP, do yourself a favor and just take the time and listen to this whole thing. It's really good. Now, in the midst of this album rollout, I happened to post this video. You know how I do my sad cartoon video edits or whatever. This one did really well, and everyone wanted me to drop the song that I made behind it. Ended up dropping Angry at Myself because of that in the middle of the Scro Belly release plan. That was kind of an iffy thing to do, but it was like, hey, everyone wants this song. I like it. I think it's cool. You know, when I was on tour, people would come up and say, I found you through this video. I'm so glad you played this song. It's a fun one live. It is very short. I do wish I made it a little bit longer, but hey, it's set in stone now. Can't do nothing about it. And then in this month, we did release the entire Scro Belly project with a sick music video. Huge shout out to Rory. I always forget how to pronounce the name, but insane music video. Again, just a great bow to put on the end of the release cycle of this project. 7 tracks of just really fun, good, experimental, cool music. Scro Belly rocks. I also played the Mount Hyperpop URL Fest. Mount Hyperpop is like an internet collective sort of show gathering thing. What I really liked about this live stream that I did is I was not trying to be anything other than what it actually was. What I really liked about this one is that I wasn't trying to be like content creator vibes where I was like trying to appeal to anything. I was like asked to play this and I was like, yeah, that sounds fun. I'll do my thing on it. And I just kind of did this fun thing with me dancing in the bedroom. It wasn't about my face. It wasn't about me being entertaining. It was just kind of about my music. It's like a cool aesthetic and vibe that I do sort of wish was more of who I was as an artist in my world that I built. But alas, I started my rise on TikTok, and I'm just a fucking cringe millennial loser that just tries to farm as much engagement as I can from the youth. That's not entirely true, but you know what I mean. This was just like a fun little live stream, and it wasn't about like me, it was just about the music. So okay, this month In My Room by Julia Wolf was released, which I produced all on my own in this room. And this was obviously an amazing song. I'm very glad that Julia's still wanting to work with me to put her tunes out. This was one of 4 this year that I worked on that she released. And this was a pretty big move in the right direction for me as a producer. There's a lot of people who heard this song and was like, I want you to make that song for me, or like, I want to know who produced that song, and would find me and kind of just like go from there. And yeah, production really kind of picked up a lot this year, doing more guitar, alternative rock stuff. I don't ever want to let go of the experimental bass electronic sound as a producer, but this sound does come really natural to me. And I really like this sort of style that I've curated with it. So In My Room, it's lit. Thanks. Also, I don't have any videos of this next thing, but I did a live stream on this like VR thing. It was like a very, like VR is very like furry vibes, you know what I'm saying? So I believe a furry hit me up asking me to do like a VR stream, and I wish I had videos of it. But imagine a EDM dance club, but it was all anime furries, and I was just on this big screen like performing my shit live. It was pretty sick. I think there was like 100 people there. It was also the 3-year anniversary of me and my beautiful girlfriend Lauren. We went to this place in Oxnard, like a super fancy what's it called when it's like a hotel but it's like there's things there to do, a resort. And I got really into board games this year. So yeah, we were playing a lot of board games just because me, and I'm annoying about it, so whatever. But Lauren, you rock. You're the best. And I love you so much. Thanks for being a part of my life. April was the big moment for me. It was my first tour ever. I was opening up for Julia Wolf, and then I also was playing guitar in her band. So I was like in the headlining band, but I was opening up as well. Obviously, I am writing and producing a lot of her music, her current music with her, so it was like really easy just to kind of, make that all work together. This is where I kind of realized, the internet shit don't matter. It's all about people really showing up and connecting with you live. And it was really cool, like being able to play 30 minutes of my music and people just stand there and watch me. Like if people watch a video of mine, they don't really get what I do. A lot of people think I just play guitar, but I am a producer and a singer. People who don't know who I am really get to know who I am after that. They're like, that's who you are. And I didn't have a drummer on the tour. I had lights. You can sometimes see there's strobing lights in this video. I'd made a little tour vlog. That's what this is. So feel free to watch that. It was really cool to be able to show my music and sell merch. Like, I sold way more merch than I thought I would, that anyone thought I would. I actually sold out of merch. Had to like re-up it, like a quick overnight shipping to somewhere to get it to keep selling it on the tour. A lot of people came out for me too and would tell me, oh, I know you from this song on Spotify, or I know you from TikTok, or I know you from Instagram, and I really like your music. You've inspired me to play guitar, or this song really helped me get through this hard time in my life. And that's always really cool. And I definitely want to tour more. And I hope this is like a part of my life going forward. Boy, where is the merch? I don't know where the merch is. Oh yeah, here's the Scro Belly merch. We got the shirts, we got the CDs. Hell yeah. Here's a little bit of the Scro merch. This shirt went crazy. Everyone loved it. Everyone loved the white tour shirt. I even had these little sunflower seeds. This is real sunflower seeds that you could plant, and there's like this little drawing that I had an artist do of me. It was so cool selling those and hanging out with everyone after the shows, and yeah, it was a good time. As soon as we got back from the tour, I had this Scro Belly headliner. This was the only show I played in LA proper for the year, was this Scro Belly show, and it was Underbelly opening up for Scro, opening up for Scro Belly. It was a fun time. It was on a Tuesday night, so that kind of sucked, but other than that, I'm really glad that, again, people came out and just enjoyed what we were doing. It was a very high effort thing that we did, but people came out and had a lot of fun. So in June, I released Play This Time with a Straw. He's awesome. I'm so glad I finally got to do a collab with him. Okay, in July, I released this huge this huge project, Heart. It's 11 songs, Midwest jungle emo style that I feel like I really curated. Is a very Scro sound, from somehow doing all my social media stuff and just to where I've gotten with my sound. It's kind of this like, no one else does this sound except me, and I'm really glad that I was able to like put together a whole project and put it out there. I didn't really promote it, I didn't really market it. I just kind of announced it a couple days before and then dropped it. And I didn't really want it to be anything more than that, because I'm trying to move in a different direction. But that being said, there's this sound that I made that it's like, how could I not give this sound to the world? It's what so many people know me from the internet, is this Midwest emo guitar with these like jungle drum and bass drums. I'm not saying I'm the only artist who's done that, but it's just, oh, there's the thing that my dad painted for it. I'm not saying I'm the only person who's done that sound. It's just like, how could I not put this out into the world, because so many people are begging for this sound for me to be out into the world, and it's there. So 11 songs, really fun, kind of a low-key project for me, but I still wanted to put it out. Technically, it's the biggest project I put it out. You could think of it as an album, but it's not. It's a mixtape. It's not an album, it's a mixtape, because I say so, and that's it. A lot of these songs, actually most of them, are just like clips of songs that I made for content. Like, I made a cool riff or a cool drum beat, and like I just liked the video and I put it out just strictly for like a cool video that people would like. But some of the songs I really enjoyed, and some of the songs other people really enjoyed, or they did really well, so it's like, who am I to keep this art from the world? One of the songs on there I made with RJ Payson. We made this loop from Take Me Back together. One of the songs on the project was also this proper collab with me and Anatole, the accordion guy. We both really enjoyed each other's music, and we have a really similar style. We just play different instruments, so it was super nice to get together and do this proper collab. Made it really quick, but it's actually one of my favorite songs on the project and that I put out all year. So if you feel like crying, if you like looking out into a field of clouds, the song is for you. So in August, I started my diet from social media. The plan was I was gonna release a song right before the tour, and it was gonna be this big thing, but I don't know, it just didn't end up happening, and I just was kind of off socials for 2.5 months, and it was nice to not really like worry about anything. My numbers fell and all that stuff, which sucked, but kind of doesn't matter. Like, people still know I exist. You know, I don't need to be barking at them that I play guitar, I do all these things. Like, people still know who I am. It's just, they're just not seeing me right now, you know? And even during that time, I was still so busy with so many other things, like producing and working on my own music. Like, it was good to take a break from all that. And like, as soon as I went back into posting, you know, you just feel that same, like, trying to get numbers or trying to do shit you don't want to do. And it's like, you know, it is what it is. Also in August, I was invited to be on Eric DOA's Locked In. This was dope. I didn't like what I made at all. It was kind of trash. But that being said, you will definitely hear something one day. But it was really fun, just being there and being invited and being on stream. It was cool, like, people knew who I was too, you know. I wasn't like some random guy. People were like, oh, Scro's here. And I'm like, dang, you guys know me? That's crazy. I saw San Holo open up for Zed, and I was kind of side stage with my family, actually, my mom, my stepdad, and my girlfriend. And that was awesome, you know, seeing him do his thing. And Jeremy Sinova was up there too. I think there's like 40,000 people there. And it's just cool to, you know someone like him. And yeah, it's just a funny video. You know, I'm very thankful to call him a homie, and just keep in touch a little bit here and there, because he's just such a humble, cool guy, and it's just cool to be a part of anything that he's doing. He's such a legend, you know. So it was also really cool to have my parents there. He came off stage, he was hanging out, and I didn't want to say anything because he's talking to other people, and he saw me and he goes, Nick, are your parents here? You said your parents were gonna be here. And like, for him to get off stage and to say that, you know, in front of my parents, and be like, oh my God, are you Nick's mom? Or Scro's like real mom, biological mom? That's crazy. And it was just like a cool, like, again, a full circle moment. Shouts out San Holo. Sorry if you watch this video. Super embarrassing. I don't care. All right, this is the month I turned 30. The big 3-0. You know, it's kind of interesting. I realized that, like, a lot of the anxiety I have and a lot of the push that I had at an artist is because of how important it was for me to be like a young prodigy. And, you know, turning 21, 25, there's already this like, well, you're not really a prodigy anymore. You're just kind of like a talented artist. You've been in the scene for a while. You should know what you're doing. But definitely turning 30, it was like, fuck, like, I'm just kind of like a guy now. And it's really disheartening, you know, to want to be someone and do something with your life and not really be where you want to be. And definitely turning 30 basically was like only negative emotions for me. I was really upset at times. I remember crushed, might be a good word, just to feel like, you know, nothing I do at this point matters. I'm just an old guy now. The industry really likes, you know, young people doing their thing, and luckily I look pretty young for my age. Some people think I'm 25, which, if you didn't watch this video yet and didn't know I turned 30, I am 25. In fact, I'm turning 24 next year. You don't want to be a washed up artist. You don't want to be someone who's clinging onto the past. And that's kind of what I felt like turning 30. And it felt like, you know, now my fan base is going to be a bunch of old losers, and I'm only going to be able to relate to old losers. And if you're watching this, you're probably an old loser, you know, you're probably just like me. That was obviously a joke, but no one in the industry likes thinking about their age. It doesn't really matter, but at the same time, it feels like it does, because I can't do this forever. And, you know, turning 30 is definitely like okay, look back and see what you've done. And, you know, is this something applicable to your life, I guess? Like, can you keep doing this? You know, people would probably look at me and be like, dude, you're fucking killing it. You're super successful. You're this and that. I don't know if I'll ever feel like that. I don't have a goal, which is the worst part of doing this. I'm just like, I want to be better and more everything. So that doesn't help. But beyond that, whatever. Yeah, I had a little party. I had some homies come through. It was a good time. I like rooftops. I technically spent the first hour of being 30 at, was it an IHOP or a Denny's in downtown LA, eating a cookie cake or something with my girlfriend. And part of me felt like, this is silly, this is fun, because I wanted to do that because I like cookie cake. But also I was like, I'm such a loser, you know, whatever. I feel like I shouldn't cut any of that out because I'm just being real, you know. Okay, in October, I went on my second tour ever, second tour of the year as well, opening for Origami Button. and Makari. This was quite killer. To me, this was like my first real tour in the sense of I was touring with a drummer, Jake Dick, he killed it. But also I had to set up all the logistics on my own. Like I needed to get the Airbnbs, I needed to get the van. I was paying 2 people as my employees, so Jake Dick and then Max, who was like a driver slash TM slash merch slash content guy, and figuring out the locations of everything and the timing of everything. So it was very much like this is what normal bands do, because the first tour I was technically mostly treated as a hired gun, so everything was made for me. I just hung out in this van and did what I was told, and I played here and I played there. But this tour, I was the one setting up those logistics and telling other people what to do. But the other guys in Origami were so cool. The other guys in Makari were so cool. It felt like I was at a summer camp, just hanging out with the coolest guys. We were all so similar because we're all artists, and we understand the grind and what it takes to do what we want to do. And we all had the similar worldview as each other, and same vibe and energy and sense of humor and stuff. So it was awesome. I loved it. That being said, some of the drives sucked. Also, everyone on the tour got sick. Some people they were like throwing up. Some people barely were able to perform on stage. I know as a singer, that's fucking awful to get sick. And some of the songs I had to just, because I'm screaming a lot now, so some of the songs I just had to like not scream. And I was just like rapping them. And I felt so stupid. I had to tell the audience, yo, I gotta do a new metal thing. I'm sick, I can't scream, I'm gonna sound like ass. It is what it is, you know? Even Andy, like the headliner singer, he was like very good about vocal rest, so he would perform and just like not talk for the next 23 hours because of how important it is to make sure your voice is okay. And you feel like a little prissy boy having to be like, oh, you can't talk to me, I can only whisper. But it's like, that's your career, is your voice. As opposed to being a guitar player or a drummer, like you can just go up on stage, just throw up on yourself and just like keep playing, you know? But doesn't really work like that. I sold out of merch twice, and we played like 5 sold out shows. Of course, it wasn't entirely because of me. It was mostly because of Makari and Origami Button. It was great playing in front of an audience who, you know, the demographic really worked out. Like, I could tell that everyone really liked what I was doing. I had plenty of people be like, I've never heard you before, but you're my new favorite artist. And that's that shit where it's like, you realize the internet doesn't matter as much. It's like the real life, people coming out to see you, seeing what you're about, buying your merch, buying your CDs. Like, that's where like real shit is going on, you know? And that's what the industry really looks for, is like, can you pull a crowd? Do you have real fans, or is this just internet shit? You know, do you have 1 million followers because of some bullshit that no one cares about? Or do you have 1 million people who like really live and breathe your art? You know what I'm saying? So I could not have asked for like a better tour, except for all the snow and all the driving and everyone being sick. You might also notice in that video there's another guitarist on stage. That was John Benoit. He was the hired gun for the headliner, and we kind of became friends. And he was like, yo, I should play on guitar on stage for one of your songs, because I take the guitar down and just let the tracks do their thing. So he would come up and play guitar for that song. Really brought the energy for like this really heavy unreleased song of mine. In October, at some point, Julia released Last Summer, which I produced with John Feldman, who's like an absolute legend in the industry. And it was really cool to be invited to go work with him. We worked together really well. He seemed to really like what I did. It was cool. Yeah, very like cool accolade to definitely say I have a song out with John Feldman, kind of. I hit my first milli, Face to Face with Death, featuring Taylor Barber. It's been out for like 2 years now or some shit, but still really cool. Very awesome accolade. Thanks to everyone who likes that song. There will be more like this. I also released technically the first proper collab with RJ Payson called Brute. It's just like totally a heavy deathcore track. Seems like people are really liking it, so I'm glad they like it. I don't know if I'm gonna play it for my show in New York. Could be sick, but I don't know if it'll happen. Also, if you remember a long time ago, if anyone remembers this, I owe you $1. But I made this like viral. I used to do some keys on TikTok. Like I would do a bunch of everything. And this is like a synth part that I made that went viral and was just like being used as a sound. And years later, 88 Rising, someone at 88 Rising picked it up and someone produced over it, and this guy sang on it. I don't know who it is, but this was by far my biggest placement. Not artist number, but you know what I'm saying. Okay, you know what I'm. And last but not least, we're ending strong with hitting 1 milli for Is This What You Wanted. I freaking love this song. I can't wait to put out more songs like it in the new year. I'm sure people are very confused with this being a big song of mine last year, and then this year putting out like nothing really that sounded like this at all. But things take time to release, you know what I'm saying? Like I gotta do shit before I do other shit. So there's gonna be a lot of this next year. And that's it. That's it, bro. That was my 2025 in review. You know, generally speaking, I think it's hard for me to know like how I'm doing as an artist for this year specifically, because with things like going on tour, that takes a lot of your time and it's super worth it, but you don't see that until you play another show and you see those same people come out and you see your shows growing. And again, that's what really matters. So if for some reason you're like, oh, I want to go on tour to gain more followers or gain more streams, like that's not really gonna happen. Some of the bands that I know, like they'll like lose half of their monthly listeners, but they'll be making $5,000 more in merch on their next tour per night or some crazy shit like that. Like the numbers really don't matter. I promise you. It's like the real life shit that matters. But that being said, it was a good year. You know, the tours were awesome. I think obviously those were the huge highlights of the year. The two big tours and touring around the country twice and getting more experience under my belt of what that's like, being like a real road dog artist and doing that thing. My hopes for next year, I would love to do some more supporting tours for things that make sense. I would love to finally put out an album. I think that'll be happening. I would love to just make more music that I love. Why am I so small? I just realized I'm like down here. Guitar, but experimental bass and hyper poppy and metal and alternative and Midwest and singing and screaming and doing it in my way where it's cohesive and not so like crazy, you know. Should I care about content? I don't know. How much? Sometimes it could be really helpful. Also, I guess TikTok is being taken away from Americans. Why did I say it like that? From Americans. TikTok is going away for the United States or something. I don't know. Everything's kind of up in the air and I'm just going to keep doing what I enjoy doing and enjoy what I love and hope that me and my team and the people behind me know what we're doing. And I am feeling that this next year is going to be really big for me in ways that I don't understand or don't know how right now, because I'm just going to keep doing what I think is best for me right now. And that's what I've always done. I think just being me as an artist, that's just what it comes down to. Putting out great music, going on tours, working with cool people, doing cool things, staying busy, staying diverse, staying me, you know. And that's it. I would like to do more music videos. I didn't really do any this year. I did the one for the Scro belly thing, but that wasn't like me in the music video, like cinematic sort of stuff, performance sort of things. So I'm done yapping. That's it. 2024. Thanks for all that. I needed it. It feels like I didn't, but I definitely needed all that. And here's to 2025.